open the exhibition. Mark Thomas has kindly agreed to do that. The main point I would just like to make is I can't emphasise enough how important this work is. It's not mere hobby or distraction. This really is important, transformative and even life-saving work we're doing, and as much should be part, we think, of the clinical regime in most of the hospitals and prisons that we have. And I think as a society, if we really are serious about the rehabilitation and recovery model, we really need to put our money where our mouths are and support this, because this stuff really does work. So thank you very much. Please buy, and without further ado, over to Mark, who is going to open especially. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Sam, and she should get a round of applause for just fantastic work. And just say thank you ever so much for asking me to come and open this. It genuinely is an absolute fantastic honour, actually, because I'm a believer in the work that goes on here. And I'll tell you why. Last year I did a little tour. For those of you who know me, I occasionally tout my way around vaudevillian circles, peddling gags. And I did a tour of the countryside where I went round and asked audiences what their manifesto policies would be. And people would submit their policies, we'd discuss them together and we'd vote on them. Some of the policies were fantastic. Some of them were absolutely brilliant. You get things like very imaginative ones. People would, someone said we should all items in supermarkets should be stacked in alphabetical order. Right. And I thought that was a rather lovely idea. I actually said to them, that's a great idea, because I like the idea of going, where's the Hovis? It's near the Hobnobs, and I like that. And I said, that's lovely. It's a really funny idea. It's not funny. It's serious. I can't find anything. So there are all sorts of imaginative. One guy, actually, it was a great one. That fatty food should be stacked in very thin aisles. So lots of lovely ideas. My favourite one came from Hull, where they said we should be able to take fashion designers outside and bash them into the shape they think we're in. There was one from North London which said models should be chosen at random from the electoral register. So there's complete challenges our ideas of the erotic and all of that kind of thing, because now if you're an advertiser under this law, you wouldn't be able to say I want a thin woman or a big-breasted woman. You'd just be able to go, I want a model. And the models will be selected at random, like jury service. So you just get who you got, and the models would be informed, like jury service. You get, like my dad would get a letter and just go, oh, I'm doing Calvin Klein. And I like that idea. I like the idea of my dad putting his pants up and wandering around. Yeah, there are lots and lots of really interesting ideas. There's a lovely one bloke said, oh, there's too many laws. There's too many criminal laws in this country. We need to get rid of the criminal laws. We should replace them with 2 laws. Law number 1 will be being out of order. And I said, what's law number 2? He said, law number 2 would be being bang out of order. I said, that's a great idea. What do you do for a living? He said, I'm a lawyer. So all sorts of, and so there was one in Windsor. They voted that, in Slough rather. They voted that Windsor should be renamed Lower Slough. Right, and I spoke to the guy afterwards and said, what a great idea. And he said, it's righteous class anger, is this? He said, because Windsor share the postcode with Slough. Right, SL for Slough is shared by Windsor. And they, in all seriousness, people in Windsor were worried the SL from Slough was lowering the tone of Windsor and affecting property prices. And they had a little campaign to change the postcode to WN for Windsor and Maidenhead, instead of the SL for Slough. And Slough, on hearing this, responded by going, bollocks, you're Lower Slough. And I like that. And I like the idea that we could do that we could change it. That it's up to, from now on, if you've got a right to someone in that area, we address it to Lower Slough. If you have American friends, say you have to go to Lower Slough Castle, because sometimes Elizabeth Lower Slough is actually in the building. So all these ideas came tumbling out of people, and they put them forward. Some of them were very exciting. Some of them were there's a myth that somehow, if you're on the left or if you're a liberal or whatever, you will attract liberals and leftists. And it's a myth, because whenever critics would often say, all you do is preach to the converted. Every gig, you would get the most illiberal guff being put forward. Every gig, someone will put bring back hanging. Every fucking gig. bring back hanging, and it would be sort of, it would be awful. For something stupid, people who don't clear up after their dogs, hang. And it was every single, and it got to the point, oh, you're going, oh, maybe. There was actually, I shall tell you, there was one that was voted through, which was that people who don't clean up after their dogs should be forced to wear the offending turd as a moustache for the rest of the day. And that's there, that one actually got voted through. But what I was amazed at, it got to the point where I thought, oh, all right, you can bring back hanging, but we'll do it on a voluntary basis. So if you're in favour of it, you put your name on a register, and then if you fuck up, we'll kill you. That seemed the sort of fair way to do it. But what I was constantly amazed at was actually, you would always find that there were a couple of issues where really, no matter how liberal people proclaim to be, you could scratch that surface and find that reactionary, knee-jerk reaction. And the two issues were always on mental health and prison. Those were the big issues that you would find it all the time. The number of people who put in things like bring back stocks or bring back hanging or bring back, you know, cut their hands off if they still, I mean, just supposedly light-hearted, but you're just going, no, I don't think so. And actually, the thing about this is, this stuff, which incidentally, I think we should all just congratulate all the artists involved in this, because this is outstanding, it's brilliant work. And I got in early to buy some. So, I mean, what is amazing is that this works. Sam's absolutely right. The point is it costs about 50 grand to keep someone in prison, and if you spend half of that on therapy, you'll keep them out. You know, that's the point about this stuff. There's an economic argument you can make and say, look, you know, actually, art therapy and creative therapies means that people don't reoffend. They start to examine their problems, start to look at their behaviour, all sorts of things. You don't even need to have a therapy agenda. It's just about, you know, actually doing something of worth that you enjoy and you get self-worth from. You know, but actually, the really big, important argument isn't just the economic argument. It's the very simple one, that it's right. That it's absolutely right that people with mental health problems and that people who are in prison with drug dependencies and all sorts of issues that are related should have access to therapeutic facilities. They should have access to creative therapies because it's the right thing to do. So it really is, I've just guffed on too long anyway, and really the real stars are on the wall. So I just want to, I have to formally declare it open.
Yes.
There's no ribbon or anything like that. Okay, right. I formally declare this exhibition open. Hurrah!